Using a random sampling of 4,400 households, a media research company finds that 55.1% watched a particular episode of a popular situation comedy. Find the margin of error in this percent, and then write a statement about the percentage of TV household in this population who watched the episode of the situation comedy. Okay, so first we're asked to go ahead and find the margin of error. So remember, the margin of error is equal to 1 over the square root of n. Well, it's actually plus or minus 1 over the square root of n. So in this case here, we got plus or minus 1 over the square root of, and our sample size is 4,400. So plugging this into your calculator, you get 0.015075, a lot more stuff. We want to convert this to a percent, so make sure you go out enough decimals, and then you convert it to a percent. You can times it by 100 or move that over 2. So this is going to be equal to 1.5%. So that's my margin of error. Remember, it's plus or minus 1.5%. So now we got to write a statement about it. So we have 55.1% watched it, but the margin of error is plus or minus 1.5. So we got 55.1% plus or minus 1.5%. So the plus and minus, you have to do it both ways. So you have to do 55.1 plus 1.5%, and then 55.1 minus 1.5%. And so we will get, so when you add you get this 56.6%, so 56.6%. And then for the lower threshold, you're going to subtract 1.5%. So you're going to end up with 53.6%. 53.6%. So we can, pretty safely assume there's a 95% probability that the true population is going to be somewhere between 53.6% and 56.6%. So in this case here, then, our answer is going to be B. Okay, so number 32. Histogram shows suicide rates per 100,000 residents of country X and the number of states who have these rates in 2009. Use this histogram to solve the problem. Okay, this question here is very similar to question number 9 on the practice test. You want to look at this as a frequency distribution table. So, we have the data items, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 24, and they occur with different frequencies. So 1, 2, 3, 2 again, 4, 3, 6, all the way up to 9. Okay. So when we want to find the median, first we got to figure out how many data items there are altogether. So you have to look at the number of frequencies. So the number of items, we're going to add up all the frequencies. So we're going to add up 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4. Oops, there's a 2 in there. Let's see, plus 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4. So add up all those together, and there are 61 items. Okay, so the median is going to be where? It's going to be in the middle. So we take 61 plus 1 over 2. So 62 over 2, so 31. So the 31st item is going to be the median. All right, go ahead and clean this up here. All right, so let's go ahead and find the 31st item. So looking back over at our table, like I said, we look at all the 3s. And there's one of those. So then we move up to 10, we get that one plus that one, so that's a total of 2. So I'm going to kind of list these as, as I go along. So I look at the 3s, I got 1 item. When I get to the 10s, I got another item, so that's a total of 2. I get to the 11s, I got 2 more, so that's up to 4. Add another 2, so I'm up to 6. When I get to the 13s, I'm adding 3 more. So now I've got 9. Add another 2, so I'm up to 11. Add another 4, so we're at 15. Add another 4, I'm up to 19. I've got to add 3, so I'm up to 22. Add another 3, I'm at 25. Then I add 6, so I'm up to 31. Boom, so that's where I stop. So what item did that occurred on? It happened right here when I got to data item number 19. So 19 is the median. Now they want me to go ahead and find the third quartile. So I'm going to find the median of the upper half. Okay, so now I'm not going to look at all of this here. I'm going to go back and just look at the upper half. So remember where our median was. Our median occurred at 19. So we're going to cut it off right here. So we're only looking at this piece of the graph now. That's the upper half, top half of the median. So we want to find the median of this one. So, once again, I got to go ahead and figure out how many data items are in here. Right. So if I add up, all the data items, or I can do it from here. I know let's just do it this way. So when I add up my data items, let me do a different color here. So I'm looking at the 20, 21, 22, 23, and 26. So I'm going to add the 3, 5, 9, 9, and 4 together. So 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4. That'll give me a total of 30. So the median is going to be at 30 plus 1 over 2. So 31 over 2, so I get 15.5. So I'm going to look at the 16th item. So I got to find the 16th item on here. So again, I'm going to go back through now and add these up and figure out where does 16 come into. So once I do the 20, let me change color again here. So once I do the 20, I've got 3 items. Then I add on the 21, so that gives me another 5, so I'm up to 8. Then I add on the 9, and that brings me up to 17. So somewhere in right here is where I got to my 16th item, and that data item corresponds to 22. So the third quartile is going to be 22. And that corresponds to, I believe it was choice C. I don't have those on here. All right, let me know if you have any questions.